Hey guys, I'm Fidel 1258 here. Today I actually want to do a video answering a question from the audience, specifically around Splinter Coach. And as you probably well know, Splinter Coach is a website that will track your personalized battle history. It's costs $5 a month for the basic entry package. That information can be really useful because it actually helps you see how often you use which cards and when they work for winning and when they sort of suffer and you lose. And that information can help you get better at the game, but also it can identify what cards you might want to upgrade because maybe a rental you have is crushing it. So you go ahead and buy it. Makes your deck better, makes you win more, lets you get more rewards. Here's the question. I got a question from my comment section from Master Shonuff, which, by the way, I referenced in a recent frequently asked questions video. But I with the corner of my eye, saw him talk on Splinter Forge, and I got distracted by the fact that I'm still playing Splinter Forge in the context of the video he was commenting on, and I ran in the wrong direction with the ball on that one. So, sure enough, thank you for the comment, my dude, and let's have a conversation about your actual question, not just your superficial intro. So, he asks, question for you and your thoughts on Splinter Coach. Do you feel this is defined as a battle helper under the new proposal that passed and that it should be prohibited? Will you continue using and promoting it once it goes live? To me, it does seem to meet that definition as a battle helper as it's written, but really don't feel it is what we typically think of as OBSBOT's battle helper. Anyway, curious on your take 12. Thanks. That's a fun conversation. To be honest, I have never thought about it because let's read that though. I think we got to look at that. We have to look at the wording of battle helper because I remember thinking it was really poorly, like so vague, which is a problem, but it did pass. This is the battle helper proposal. Look at the wording on this. They did define battle helper. The definition of a battle helper. I read this once before on the channel, but for the context of this conversation, I need to reread it. Definition of a battle helper. For the purpose of this proposal, a battle helper is any tool or aid created to assist a user via instruction, recommendation, or hinting during team selection. A battle helper provides gameplay recommendations and takes away from the player's decision-making process in real time. It includes, but is not limited to, the use of professional services as well as sharing of spreadsheets, databases, and match algorithms between users. So, quick answer, I think you're right, actually. This probably does fall within this very vague, wide-reaching definition of what a battle helper would be. But I think most of the critique, that if there was critique against this proposal, and there was some critique, and if I scroll down and read the comments, you would see people commenting that the one thing they thought they really hated about this was how vague this is. How do you have people say you can't, you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to know how to measure success. You have to understand what a victory would be. How do we have a victory when facing off against battle helpers in the game of Splinterlands when you call a spreadsheet a battle helper? I mean, that, like, I heard someone say in the comments of one of my videos, like, is it cheating when I use a pencil and paper and I write a note on my desktop and I look at it when I'm playing the game? See, this is the craziness and the vagueness and the therefore, I don't know how we would ever track this, nor how we would ever how could we win that battle? This idea, spreadsheets, is too vague. Databases is too vague. I think this tool that people mostly complain about is the idea that when I turn on the game, I have like a user interface that shows me what cards to pick. OBSBOT Battle Helper sort of does that. You submit your battle. I did one video on this recently. I don't want to pull it all up, but there's a path. Essentially, you join the Discord. I don't recommend it. It's not fun. It's terrible. I said so in a previous video, but OBSBOT has a service that you essentially, when you're submitting your battle, you're picking your team and you grab the link for that battle, or if you tell them your account name, and then it searches your account name. What it essentially identifies the battle that you're involved in right now, And given the context of the mana cap, given the context of the rule set and the splinters available and your deck available, it'll tell you which cards it feels are best. It gives you, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 recommendations. And I didn't find they were helpful. And it took 2 minutes to give me the results. So I had 30, 40 seconds to input my team, and I was cutting it right to the finish line, barely getting the team submitted. Not to mention, I had no real time to think about other ideas because I had to think about, once they give me their ideas, I had to think about it. So that's what I think of as a battle helper. It's like, hey, paint by numbers. Do this and you might win. That it wasn't working for me, but that to me is a battle helper. If my friend tells me on Discord, what's a really great combo, Llama and Kron, and that's a note or a data sheet or a spreadsheet or you know what I mean? That's a way, that's like a comment within users that is helping you in battle. And that's all that is likely included in this idea that you might even say a professional service. What if a coach in Splinterlands wanted to, provide services on how to get better? Is that battle helping? It kind of sounds like, so my point is, long story short, I think you're right that Splinter Coach probably would be technically a battle helper, but here's the thing. Here's where I want to land the plane. This is a stupid definition. Like, the goal for our game shouldn't be that we limit spreadsheets, databases, match algorithms, because match algorithm. I would agree with that one. If there's algorithms that are essentially summarizing the stuff for us, I get it. That should be a battle helper. I do not think databases should be. I do not think spreadsheet should be. I do not think professional services, because a coach might help me train and think through the game. That might be considered a battle helper. This is maybe key, though, if we look at the real time. The idea is that he was trying to describe, and I'm not trying to slight Dave McCoy here, guys. Dave McCoy creating a definition of this nature, man, this is tough. This is tough stuff. This is a cutting edge, new, revolutionary, blockchain based video game. And trying to think through what is the problem, how to define it is difficult. But we need crystal clear quality definitions so that we can measure what success would be in the fight against battle helpers and bots. This doesn't fit that definition. So yes, you're right. Probably Splinter Coach would count as a battle helper. I do think that's stupid. I don't think battle helpers are the problem. Of battle helpers is not sort of caught up or summarized or, indicative of what you see here. This is a set of data that you can look at. I wouldn't say this helps you real time. I wouldn't say this makes your decisions for you. I would say this gives you a retroactive sort of analysis of what you have done in the past. That's not going to help you necessarily directly. It might help you in the context of making you aware of, hey, Kelly actually wins quite a bit and I played a lot. Or Lily Shieldpaw, that's a better example. 125 wins, 106 losses, really good win record, played a lot. Not, almost as much as Kelly, which makes it I play this Lily Shieldpaw a lot. So if you were not aware that you played Lily Shieldpaw as much as this data shows, perhaps you might then argue Splinter Coach has given me some sort of awareness that's helping me in game. I think that's a reach. My point and my conclusion is, I think that we need to work on this definition of what even a battle helper is. I think as we get to a clearer definition, I think things like Splinter Coach should not be excluded or prohibited. To me, that doesn't make any sense. In the same way, if you want to track on a data, sort of a spreadsheet, Excel, you want to track what you're playing, when you're playing, why should that matter? Of course that doesn't matter. Like, how could that ever be regulated? So we need clear definitions. Otherwise, we'll never have any success because we can't measure metrics and measure our sort of gains in this battle or this war against bots if we don't first come at a place of what even is the problem. Clearly, spreadsheets are not the problem. Clearly, paint by numbers, choose these 3 monsters and you'll win is the problem. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you for the comment. Sorry I didn't get it in the last video. Sorry, I read your name. I superficially addressed your comment and moved on. And just thank you for dropping that comment, guys. I appreciate you and thank you for the support you guys give, the comments, the subscriptions. the feedback. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.